MK, and I am here with another Shimmerz Paints Design Team layout. I am also playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem recipe for this week and 31 days of cut files. So I'm going to show you guys the cut file first. This is the gorgeous cut file that I am in love with, and I could not wait to use it. These are the shimmer products that I'm going to be using today. I've got Color Splash in whites of their eyes and Bronze Baby, and then in Vibes some Rose Gold Red. So I've got some fun techniques that I'm going to play with. I'm also going to be playing with the recipe that calls for 3D flowers. I was a little stumped on that one. I also have to have torn paper and play with paint. So of course, Shimmerz Paints, right? That works. All right, so I die cut a whole bunch of these leaves from these dies here. They are Spellbinders dies. I can try to find where I purchased them and put the link down below, but no guarantees, you guys. I forget every time I say that. From P13, I believe it's Soulmate. Yes, Soulmate. I have these tiny word stickers. From Simple Stories, I have these very few pieces. I've got the date ones down here, but I plan on using the craft in the white. From Vicky Booten, I love these craft numbers, so I'm going to try to use those. I also have this craft little banner looking thing too that I'll hopefully remember to use. From Maya Road, way back in the day, I have these plasticky little journaling spots that technically you can't journal on them, but they look pretty cool. And then I believe this is an Amy Tan product. It's Hello Joy Thicker Set. And I'm going to use, now I'm not sure if this is the packaging, but it does say Hello Joy on it. So don't beat me up too bad if that packaging is not for those stickers, you guys. I'm a hot mess. I really am. All right, I've got 4 photos, pretty much in the same orientation as what I always have, verticals and horizontals. From Craft Consortium, I have this scrap piece of paper. From Basic Gray, I embossed this piece of paper and then inked it, and it was just a scrap that I had left over from, I believe, last month. And then also from Basic Gray, I have this one from Motifica in the jade color, which I thought was pretty cool for a jail cell, which is what I'm going to be documenting. So in the fabulous town of, I believe we're in Austin. Yes, we are in Austin. You go to City Hall and the courthouse. I apologize. You go to the courthouse and they have a self-guided tour. So it's just something that they love to brag about, of the fact that they still have their jail cells down in the basement. And they tease the kids that, well, don't you get rough with your parents. We're going to lock you in the jail cells down in the basement. And of course, as soon as my kids heard that, they were like, wait, what? And so we had to go and check out the jail cells. So but first, I'm going to tell you guys that I'm going to take my Rose Gold Red from Shimmerz and color my floral flowers. Back in the day, I used to color my ribbon like this all the time. Now, of course, it wasn't in a spray. I used to use reinkers. The spray is much, much better. I couldn't find the stir stick I was looking for. So I ended up using a rub-on tool from 49 and Market. But once I got the saturation I was looking for, I am going to take my Bronze Baby paint and just touch the tips of these flowers. And I'm going to get a really cool, almost burned effect. Makes it look like my roses are... I hate to say this, but wilted. Yes. And so I really wanted some grungy flowers. So this is what I'm going to do. And then off camera, I'm going to dry them. It is quite the process to sit here and paint every single one, because I don't want to spray it. I don't want to saturate it in this gold, because then what's the point of the red? I just wanted the little tips and loopies, this bronzy color, and it's beautiful when it dries, to be honest. I remember doing this back in the day, and I haven't done it for quite a while, so I thought I'd bring it back, especially when I needed an excuse for 3D flowers, and these are pretty 3D, I think. I'm thinking that I passed the criteria for this one. All right, so also, too, I wanted to tell you guys that I didn't find a whole lot of history about this, other than the fact that the ladies at the courthouse are pretty proud of their jail cells. Now, some of them, most of them, they have 3 still remaining, and they are just storage rooms, but they do have one set up that you can go and take a look and actually get the feel of what it was like to be in a jail cell. And I mean, you guys, this stuff was old. The electrical was on the outside of the wall instead of inside the wall. Some of it was burnt out. It's microscopically small in there. You definitely get claustrophobia really, really fast, especially with how much space we have nowadays in our homes, which is something that has been brought up several times in discussion with amongst my friends. But yeah, it's just really weird. And so I thought when I saw this title, When in Trouble, it was absolutely perfect, because we were talking to the kids that, yeah, I mean, this is where you're going to end up if, you want to be a hooligan your whole life. So, it put it into perspective for them. All right, so for my cut file, I'm trying my hand. You guys, I have so much embossing powder, which I don't know why. It's not my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. But I have a whole lot of this embossing powder, and so I'm just trying to use it up. And I thought I would try mixing my embossing powders. I know I tried it last year, and I failed miserably at it. But this year, I felt like I did a little bit better. I felt like I got a good mix going on. My embossing pad, I have to say, was a hot mess by the time I was done, but I enjoyed the process, and that gold from Nuvo was very, very pretty. Okay, so here is my torn portion of the recipe from Mixed Media Mayhem, and what I'm doing with my edge, instead of, well, I'm inking it, is what I'm doing. The other recipe for this, besides 3D flowers and torn paper, is paint, and since this is an acrylic spray, it's technically watered down paint. Well, all Shimmerz is paint, whether it's watercolor paint or acrylic paint, it is paint. And so I wanted to paint my edges in this bronze because I love this bronze color in the fact that it has a greenish blue undertone. And you can't really see it unless you flip it over on the other side, but it's there. It's a sparkle that's that's there. Let me just keep saying that. It's there, I promise you. And it just, honestly, this is my second bottle. I've used so much of that bronze baby because I absolutely love that bluey green feature of it. Okay, so since my cut file was ginormous, I'm actually just going to chop it into 3 pieces and use it into 3 sections on my layouts. And they are gonna kind of sort of be invisible unless you go looking for them, right? But I do like the brick wall portion of this, and that's what made me want to use the brick on the scrap piece of paper and all that stuff, because most jail cells are made out of bricks. At least that is my assumption. And this one happens to not be. It's just a building. I don't remember. I have a pocket page on the left side, but I don't remember if the jail itself, like in the room, was brick or if it was also drywall. I don't remember. I'll have to go and look that up. But I do have to say that I looked up Nutting and Sons just so I could get a background on, who made the door of this jail cell. And I didn't find very much. I don't know if they were very popular or not, but they are from San Francisco. And it says here that Calvin Nutting and Son, they resided or operated out of 235 and 237 Main Street. These gentlemen are manufacturers of iron doors, bank vaults, girders, stairs, house and cemetery fences, prison cells, and bolts. So I thought that was pretty cool that they were also iron workers. And yesterday I did a layout about blacksmith. So I thought that was really, really cool because I never even put the two together. I never realized that, yeah, you have to be an iron worker or a blacksmith to build an iron door. It just never clicked to me until I started reading or researching about it. All right, so I'm also taking a I'm taking a lesson from Sandy, who is State Goddess here on YouTube. She has been documenting, if you guys aren't following her, she has been documenting Alcatraz. And every Alcatraz photo that she has been doing so far to date has had a flower on it. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a unique way of documenting a prison. And since I had to use 3D flowers because that was part of my recipe, I thought, you know what? Sandy can do it, so can I. There is no reason, rhyme, or anything as to why I am using flowers. I just thought that they looked really cool in my clusters with my brick walls and my gears. And then the numbers represent, basically prisons are all about numbers. The inmates all have numbers. The cells all have numbers. The inmates are in cell, numbers, so on and so forth, right? So I really wanted to use up these numbers, A, because I've had them in my stash for an uber long time, and B, they kind of meshed well with what I was doing. I loved the fact that the metallic on the 5 blended in with that flower really, really well. It's got a little bit of a blue, a little bit of the red. I mean, it was just a cool looking metallic stripe on that number. And not that it has anything to do with my family or anything, you guys. It just was random numbers because of the fact that, prisons are based off of numbers. Like I said, every inmate, which I don't think they're allowed to be called inmates anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know what the PC word is, you guys. But they all have numbers. Their cells blocks have numbers or letters, and their actual cell has a number, and that is, kind of like the Dewey Decimal System of prisons. That's not funny, you guys, but some way it is. I'm so sorry. It's not funny at all. I just said it, and I apologize, you guys. There is nothing funny about being in a jail or in prison or anything. It really, there is not. But the way that I am trying to portray the numbering system in a jail or a prison is coming out hilarious to me. So I apologize. So around all of my gears that I have going on, I just realized I've covered up almost every single one of my little brick pieces, except for over on the right. I've got that tiny little bit sticking out, but that's okay. I really was going for, the roses climbing up the brick wall type of effect, and trying to, make a pretty cell door layout. Yeah, as if that's a thing. So my 2 photos over on the left, or nope, that's the right, are very similar in the fact that I probably could have left one out. However, I really liked the bottom photo because it shows the entire cell door from top to bottom, and then the other one is, if you look on the left of the photo, is my husband walking into the cell that you're allowed to go in. Like I said, the other ones have been boarded up and are used as storage. Trust me, my children tried to open the doors because that's what they do. But yeah, the clerk even told us that the others are locked because they're just storage rooms, but they do have one, and it's kind of cool because they've got the little cot, and it actually has 2 cots inside it. One cot was laid out so you could see the size of the bed, which is no bigger than seriously a camping cot. And then the other one was folded up so you could see how they folded up and kept them, put away until they needed, both beds. And then the mattress was rolled up and turned into a chair for the single person in the jail. I can't call him an inmate because that's not PC, I've been told. There is no toilet in this one, so it wasn't a long-term jail cell. But yeah, it just was really cool. My kids were so fascinated by it. They were fascinated by all the burn marks on the wall. Of course, my kids, they don't realize that it's the electrical issue of how old the electricity was or is. And so they, of course, think, man, what happened in here? And the worst part of it, they try to go for it. So, all the stories they made up. And then, of course, there was a cute little skeleton laying on the bed that says, "Can I come out now?" Which made my daughter feel a lot safer in there, because when she first saw him, she didn't even want to enter the room. And so Dad had to take her in there, and then she saw the note that he was holding, and made her giggle, and finally, she was okay to be in there, which is good. Be scared of the gel cell, please. Then you won't get into any trouble, right? All right, so last thing I'm going to do to this layout, which turned into a pretty prison layout, like Sandy would say, is splatter the whites of their eyes all over. I am loving this ink splatter, you guys. It is fabulous and dries almost a 3D-ish. Oh my gosh, it was the perfect touch to end this layout. I really do just absolutely love that little bottle of goodness. All right, so that is my layout for today. I do have a ton of close-ups so you guys can get a picture of all of the happenings going on here. I took that that banner piece from Vicki Boutin and tore it in half and used it in 2 different spots. I mostly used the Maya Road plasticky journaling spot things for decoration. I do plan on typing up, my daughter's reaction and my kid's reaction inside the gel cell and putting it on top of the right side one. That's why it says the word details, and then I kind of left it blank. I do plan on typing up something to go right there, because like I said, I have not found a pen, marker, or anything that, or even a slick writer that will stay on those journaling blocks. So anyways, that is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I have tons of links down below. 31 Days has 2, Mixed Media has 2, and Shimmerz Paints has, of course, the website. Don't forget, if you mention my name in the comments for anything that you might need paintery-wise, you'll get a free gifty from Shimmerz Paints, which I think is really super cool. That they do that for those that recognize their design team members. So anyways, that is it for today. Again, thank you. And as always, I can't say thank you enough, in all honesty. All right, you guys, I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.